Breaking from Berlin, the world number one just survived by the skin of her teeth. Aryna Sabalenka needed to save 4 match points to escape Elena Rybakina 7-6, 3-6, 7-6 in what was nearly one of the biggest upsets of 2025. While Sabalenka advances, the real story might be how vulnerable the top seed looked and how impressive Rybakina's return to form appears heading into Wimbledon.
What we witnessed was a world number one pushed to her absolute limit by a player who's been struggling with form and injuries this season. For Rybakina to take Sabalenka to 4 match points shows she's finding her best tennis at exactly the right time before Wimbledon.
The statistics tell a fascinating story. This was decided by just 4 points over nearly 3 hours of tennis. When margins are that small between the world number one and someone outside the top 10, it raises important questions about current form levels and Wimbledon preparations.
Today we're breaking down this thriller that nearly shocked the tennis world. We'll examine how close Sabalenka came to a devastating loss, analyze what Rybakina's performance means for her Wimbledon chances, and explore what this tells us about the current state of the women's game. Let's start with just how close this was. Sabalenka won 7-6, 3-6, 7-6, but she was 4 points away from elimination. 4 match points saved against Elena Rybakina, a player who's been struggling for consistency this season. For the world number one, that's cutting it incredibly close.
Those 4 match points represent how fine the margins are at the top level. Rybakina, despite her recent struggles, came within 4 points of beating the best player in the world. That's not luck, that's a sign she's rediscovering the form that won Wimbledon.
Serving statistics reveal the battle. Sabalenka hit 14 aces to Rybakina's 6, but look at the first serve percentages. Rybakina was significantly more consistent at 61% compared to Sabalenka's 52%. When you're more accurate than the world number one, you're doing something right.
That serving comparison is telling. Rybakina's 61% first serve percentage shows she was in control of her service games, while Sabalenka's 52% suggests she was pressing, trying to hit through Rybakina's excellent returning. Sometimes consistency beats power, and Rybakina nearly proved that today.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Rybakina actually had more breakpoint opportunities, 10 compared to Sabalenka's 9, and converted at a higher rate, 6 of 10 versus 4 of 9. The former Wimbledon champion was actually the more clinical player in crucial moments.
Those breakpoint numbers are remarkable. When you're creating more opportunities than the world number one and converting at a higher percentage, you're clearly playing high-level tennis. Rybakina's tactical approach was spot on, she just came up short in the final moments.
The overall point count tells the story of how evenly matched this was. Sabalenka won 121 points to Rybakina's 117. That's a difference of just 4 points over 2 hours and 42 minutes. In tennis terms, that's essentially a dead heat between the world number one and someone ranked outside the top 10.
A 4-point margin over 238 total points means this match could have gone either way. For Rybakina to push the world number one to such narrow margins shows she's operating at an elite level again. That's encouraging news for her Wimbledon preparation.
Let's examine what this means for both players. For Sabalenka, this was a wake-up call. She's been dominant this season with 42 wins, but today showed she's not invincible, especially on grass where her record is less impressive than on other surfaces.
Sabalenka's grass court game is still a work in progress. She's reached Wimbledon semifinals but never won the title. Today's narrow escape against an out-of-form Rybakina suggests she still has vulnerabilities on this surface that top players can exploit.
For Rybakina, this performance is incredibly encouraging. After struggling with injuries and form, she just pushed the world number one to the absolute brink on grass, her best surface. The 2022 Wimbledon champion might be timing her return to form perfectly.
Rybakina's performance today was vintage grass court tennis, consistent serving, aggressive returning, and excellent court coverage. If she can maintain this level, she becomes a serious Wimbledon threat. Sometimes great losses can be more encouraging than routine wins.
Head-to-head context makes this even more interesting. Coming into today, Rybakina had won 4 of their last 6 meetings, including their most recent encounter at the 2024 WTA Finals. This narrow loss continues that pattern of competitive matches between them.
That recent head-to-head record shows Rybakina has found ways to trouble Sabalenka consistently. Today's result, while disappointing for Rybakina, maintains that competitive dynamic. She clearly knows how to play the world number one's game.
Looking at the match flow, Sabalenka took the first set tiebreak, Rybakina dominated the second set 6-3, then we had that epic final set where everything was on the line. That pattern shows 2 players operating at peak level, with neither able to pull away.
The way Rybakina bounced back to win the second set 6-3 was impressive. She didn't let losing the first set affect her, she raised her level and dominated. That mental resilience is exactly what you need for deep runs at majors.
Tiebreak record is interesting. Sabalenka won 2 of the 4 tiebreaks played. In such a close match, tiebreak performance often determines the winner, and both players showed they can handle the pressure of sudden death points.
Both players' tiebreak performance shows they're comfortable in high-pressure situations. For Rybakina especially, competing evenly in tiebreaks against the world number one demonstrates she's mentally ready for the biggest stages again.
Let's discuss the Wimbledon implications. Sabalenka advances but showed vulnerability on grass, while Rybakina leaves with her confidence sky-high despite the loss. The former Wimbledon champion just proved she can compete with anyone when she's healthy and in form.
For Wimbledon, both players gained valuable insights today. Sabalenka knows she needs to improve her grass court game if she wants to win her first title there. Rybakina knows she's capable of beating anyone when she plays this level of tennis.
This result also opens up interesting questions about the current depth in women's tennis. When someone outside the top 10 can push the world number 1 to 4 match points, it suggests the field is incredibly competitive right now.
The competitive depth we're seeing is fantastic for the sport. Rybakina's performance today shows that rankings don't always tell the full story, especially when players are returning from injury or finding their form at the right time.
Sabalenka now faces either Ons Jabeur or Marketa Vondrausova in the semifinal. After today's scare, she'll know that any opponent can be dangerous, especially on grass where upsets are more common due to the surface's unique characteristics.
Today's match will serve as a reality check for Sabalenka. Her semi-final opponent will have watched this match and seen that the world number one can be vulnerable. That psychological edge could prove crucial in the next round.
For Elena Rybakina, this performance should give her tremendous confidence heading into Wimbledon. She just proved she can compete with the very best when she's playing her style of tennis. That's a dangerous combination: talent, experience, and renewed confidence.
Rybakina's serving statistics alone, 61% first serves, 6 of 10 break points converted show she's operating at Wimbledon winning level. If she can maintain this consistency, she becomes one of the most dangerous players in the draw.
This match perfectly encapsulates why grass court season is so unpredictable. The margins are tiny, the style of play can neutralize certain advantages, and form can peak at exactly the right moment. Both players learned valuable lessons today.
The beauty of matches like this is that both players can take positives away. Sabalenka survived a major test, while Rybakina proved she's ready to compete at the highest level again. That makes for a more competitive and exciting Wimbledon.
Today's match was a perfect example of why we love tennis. The finest of margins, incredible shot-making under pressure, and two champions giving everything they had. The 4-point difference over nearly 3 hours shows just how evenly matched elite players can be.
Dr. Martinez, James, thank you for helping us analyze this thriller. We've seen a world number one survive by the narrowest of margins, and a former champion rediscover her best form at the perfect time. Both players head toward Wimbledon with valuable lessons learned. In Berlin today, we witnessed tennis at its most compelling. Aryna Sabalenka saved 4 match points to remain world number one, but Elena Rybakina might have been the real winner. The statistics tell the story. 61% first serves for Rybakina versus 52% for Sabalenka. 6 of 10 break points converted versus 4 of 9. A total point difference of just 4 over nearly 3 hours. When margins are this small, everyone learns something valuable. Sabalenka knows she's not invincible, especially on grass. Rybakina knows she's capable of beating anyone when she plays this level. With Wimbledon just 10 days away, today's thriller sets up what could be the most competitive grass court season in years. Subscribe for more in-depth tennis analysis that goes beyond the headlines to understand what these matches really mean.